everybody, and happy art day. Welcome to Freakin' Art. My name's Anastasia. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll be leading you on today's art adventure as we talk about primary colors and make our very own rainbow by just using our 3 primary colors. So, what are the primary colors? Well, the primary colors are yellow, red, and blue. And with these 3 colors, you can make all the colors in the whole world. Isn't that cool? So in art, we have this thing called the color wheel. Here's a really fancy one. But we're going to learn how to make our own color wheel today and make a rainbow by just using our primary colors. So here on our color wheel, you can see our primary colors are going to be the yellow, the blue, and the red. And when you mix our primary colors together, you get the secondary colors. So that's going to be mixing yellow and blue to get green, mixing our yellow and red to get orange, and mixing our blue and red to get purple. It's kind of like a science experiment. Now, in nature, you can see the primary colors in action in a rainbow. I love rainbows. It's the one good thing about living in such a rainy place is I get to see lots of rainbows. So for today's class, we're going to need a pen or pencil, a circle to trace, our primary colors. We're going to be using crayons. I got red, yellow, and blue. Maybe white if we want to lighten up that purple. And a piece of paper. Or 2. You might want 2. And just a little note, the crayons you use might impact how your rainbow looks and how easy it is to mix. As you can see, this is with some really fancy crayons. They're called crayon dash that I got at the art store. And you can see it's really nice and smooth colors here. And it's pretty easy to mix the primary colors to get our secondary colors. It looks really nice and smooth. And then when I did it with just the regular Crayola crayons, it's a little bit more bumpy. And maybe it doesn't mix quite as well, but it still works. So don't let your tools get you down. We'll make art either way. So let's start with our piece of paper. We're going to start by making our rainbow because it's the most fun part. And then we'll make our color wheel so you can have your own color wheel at home to reference. We're going to need 1 big piece of paper and your yellow, your blue, that's thread, your red, your blue, and your yellow crayon, and maybe a white one. So we're going to start by making a really big red arch with our red crayon. So I'm going to be doing this upside down. Hopefully it'll be a lot easier for you doing it flat on the table facing you. So I'm going to start with a big red arch and try to take up that whole page. Now if you want, you could just do a half rainbow or whatever shape you want, but we're going to go with this beautiful big arch to take up the whole page so we have room. So we're going to start with the red crayon and go all the way up from the bottom to, it broke. From the bottom to the top, back down to the bottom, make that arch. Don't worry about it being perfect. You could always trace a half a plate if you want to. Now I have the red outline for the top, and I'm also going to do a red outline right on the inside for that bottom. So this one's gonna be, I want my rainbow to be really nice and chunky so I can mix those colors so I have lots of room. So I'm gonna make a teeny tiny arch right in the center there. Okay. Next, I'm going to make, let's see, we want each of the primary colors to take up a good chunk of space here, so we have room to mix the secondary colors. So next I'm going to take my red, and I'll probably try to divide this in 3 maybe here. So I have this red, and I'm just going to go up, up and over here. So I have room to mix my, my red and my yellow together. Now the yellow is going to be the biggest. It's going to be the widest rainbow band we got here because we're going to be mixing within it. So I'm going to take up the most space with my yellow. Okay, so you should have something like this. Now I'm going to start in the middle here with the yellow because I want that to be the biggest area so I can have a lot of area to mix. So I'm just going to use, we're going to do 2 different kinds of marks. So we could practice those real quick. You can practice it on another piece of paper if you want. So we want to remember to do light, 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 light. And then dark, 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 dark. Or another way to think about it would be light, 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 light. And then heavy, 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 heavy. By putting a lot of pressure on your paper with your crayon. Because then, when you want to mix, if we do light, 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 we can actually mix our colors. And then heavy, 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 heavy. Okay, so maybe practice just a minute with the different colors going light and heavy. So you remember that. But we're going to start with a light mark at first. And then once we're happy with where our colors are, we'll do that heavy mark. So I'm going to start with the yellow. And I'm just going to color in this whole big band here in a light, light mark. Light, 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 light. And I'm not too worried about it being in the lines because I want to mix my primary colors to get the secondary colors anyway. So right now I'm just trying to cover the whole thing. And you can see I'm kind of using the edge of my crayon so I can cover more space at once. And it's also easier to make that light, 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 light mark. Okay, so I got that. Now I'm going to do the red. And again, I'm just doing a light, light, light mark all throughout this top band. Just color in. And then the very bottom, I'm going to do my blue. And again, I'm doing that light, light mark. Just, if you want, you can draw a blue line right under that yellow one to give you a good guide. But we're doing our light, light, light mark all inside of the blue. And we're going to go back over this so it doesn't look so scribbly. But we're just starting with the light one so we have a good idea of placement of our colors. Okay, now first we're going to bring some of this red down into the yellow so we can mix our 2 primary colors to make that secondary color of orange. So I'm going to take this space and try to think about making 3 equal spaces in the yellow. And we'll just draw this red line, just a thin red line. Going all the way around there. And now I'm going to do the light mark again right on top of that yellow with my red. Now don't worry, I'm going to go back over this with the yellow so it really looks orange. But I'm doing a light mark all on top of that yellow. Okay. And now I'm going to take my yellow crayon and go over that little red mark again. This little red strip, it's kind of orange, and do a harder, we're going to do that harder, heavier mark just in that little yellowy red orange strip here. Here we go. And can you see this magic that's happening already? Look at that. By just using our different primary colors of yellow and red, we're able to make orange. I think that's super cool. Okay, we got a nice orange strip going on here. Now I'm going to bring my blue crayon and bring it a little bit into the yellow as well. So again, I'm thinking about maybe at this point using half of this space. So I'm going to bring up my blue arch, just mirroring the shape of the other blue arch, and I'm going to do again the light mark here. So it looks pretty blue at first, but remember we're going to go back over it with that yellow. So we're just using that light mark, and we're coloring in right there. My rainbow's a little bit wobbly, but that's okay. It has character. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my yellow crayon and do a heavier mark just right here where it's already this dark green color. So this little band here, and I'm going to do a heavy mark. Look at that! So amazing! And I'm just going in between this one blue band that I put on top of the yellow. Okie dokie. That looks pretty good. I'll probably go back through and do some heavier marks of the yellow in the yellow band and some heavier marks of the red in the red band. But let's finish mixing all of our secondary colors first. So next, we're going to take the red crayon, our primary red here, and we're going to draw a little bit of a line, maybe dividing that blue band in half with the red. And we're following that arch all the way around. And we're going to do that light mark on top of that blue to make our purple. Now I feel like purple's a really hard color to mix. And sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of white. But this will still be a purple. It just won't be like that super bright purple that you're used to seeing if you just get a purple crayon or some purple paint. So again, I'm going over top of that red mark now with my blue crayon. Okay, so it's kind of like a really deep, dark purple. If you want, you can add a little bit of white to it and it will lighten it up. Or you could just leave it as it is. It's your rainbow. So you color it how you want to. Okay, so now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to use a heavier mark on my primary color sections to really bring out that richness of color. So we're going to start with the red and going back over the top here. I'm not going over into my secondary color band here of orange. I'm just going on the red. And you don't have to do this. If you're happy with your rainbow the way it is, then leave it. It's totally up to you. But I'm just showing you when you use your different marks and your primary colors, how we can make 3 more colors, at least. I mean, really, you keep on figuring this out and mixing and see how many colors you can get. Whew, my hands are getting tired. Okay, think that red looks pretty good. I'm going to go back and do a little bit of yellow and a little bit of the blue. Now sometimes, as you can see, like maybe your crayon's getting a little bit dirty with the other colors since we're using them to mix. So you could just take your other piece of paper and clean it off by just doing some marks. Just drawing right at that tip until it's just yellow again. Just a little trick for you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to color in with my heavy hard mark the yellow here, so it's nice and bright for our beautiful bright rainbow. I'm really looking forward to seeing your guys' rainbows. Rainbows are some of my favorite things. They make me super happy. I'm the kind of person, if I see a rainbow and you're across the street, I'm gonna yell, "Look, there's a rainbow!" Just so you can see it too. Okay, now let's do the blue. We'll do the hard mark again so we can get a nice saturated color. So saturation would be how intense your color is. Because if you have that light mark, that's not very saturated. But when you have that dark mark, that's full saturation, so you can fully see that color. It's not being impacted by that white of the page. Some art terms for you guys, because I know you're all going to be amazing artists and so much better than I am just with all this practice you guys are doing. Can't imagine what kind of work you're going to be making in 10 years. It's going to blow everybody's mind. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. We got full saturation of our colors here. We got our primary colors, our red, our yellow, and our blue mixing together in our rainbow to make those secondary colors of orange, green, and purple. Isn't that super cool? I hope you guys like that. Now, we're going to make our very own color wheel in case you want to have one around to reference when you're making your artwork on your own at home. It's pretty handy. So for this, you're going to need another piece of paper. It doesn't have to be as big, it could be small. So we need a piece of paper and we're going to need a circle to trace. This could be a cup or a little plate. I'm using a roll of tape, whatever. And then you're going to want your pen or pencil. I'm going to use the pen so you can really see what I'm doing. So first we're going to trace our circle. Circle. Next, I'm going to grab my primary colors, so the red, yellow, and blue. I'm going to start with that yellow. I'm going to clean it off again here. And I'm going to draw a line and do the circle in half and color in one half in yellow, okay? And I'm just doing my light mark to start, so I can easily mix it with my other primary colors to make those secondary colors. So we're doing a light mark all on this half. Okay. That looks good. Next we're going to take our red, make sure it's clean. And again, we're going to divide the circle in half, but not directly in half like this. We want to think about taking up 1/3, or if you were going to divide this half into, we'll go like this so you can see. If you're going to divide this half into a pie, 3 pie slices, we're going to take up 1 pie slice here. So maybe go from the center and do a pie slice and then draw that line all the way across so it's a half of the circle, but 1/3, 1 pie slice is going to be have some yellow in it already. So we're going to do that light mark already. We're going to go over that yellow with that light mark so we can mix it with the yellow again to make our secondary color of orange, but fill in this new half of the circle with a light mark of red. And don't worry about this orange part yet. We'll go back over it once we get our primary colors placed down. Okay. So we're going to use that same concept and grab our blue primary color and use that same pie concept. So I'm going to go from this middle part here and do 1/3 of a pie. So if this was 3 pie slices, I'm going to go start here, go up, and then do my half exactly like that. So I'm leaving 1 pie slice that's just yellow and 1 pie slice that's just red. And then I'm going to take this blue primary color and do a light mark all over this new half of my circle. So I'm just doing light all over that whole half, over that red, over that yellow, and right by itself. So it's blue. Okay, now I'm going to go back through and make some heavier marks on the primary colors so they really show up. So we're thinking our pie slice here. We're going to just go ahead and we'll start with the blue since I already have it. And we'll just do a heavy mark right there. Here we go. So it's a nice saturated blue, primary blue right there. Okay, let's flip it over and we'll grab the red. So again, we're going to go right just to the red pie slice. Like that. We'll use a heavy mark to get our primary red in there. Yeah. And now, you guessed it, we're going to go with the yellow and do a heavy mark in our yellow pie slice so it's fully saturated. Okay, so now that we have our primary colors nice and bright, we got the yellow, the blue, and the red, we're going to go back over and just do some light and heavy marks until we get our secondary colors, our green, our orange, and our purple, the way we like it. So I'm going to start with the orange over here and just do a little overlay. That looks pretty nice. I think I'll go maybe do a little bit more of that light with the red. And we'll go back over with the yellow one more time. I think it's helpful if you change the direction you're coloring too, because then it helps mix the colors a little bit better instead of having a bunch of lines going one way. Okay, so we got our red, our orange, and our yellow look really good. Let's go ahead and move our color wheel a little bit so we can have better access to the top here. I'm going to clean off my yellow crayon again, just by scribbling off that top because it looks kind of orange from using it to mix my primary colors together to get that secondary color. Okay, so I got my yellow, and I'm going to go back over my green mark here with just a little bit of light mixing. Maybe we'll do a little bit more blue again. Okay, we'll just do it in a different direction. All across that green pie slice we got going on. And then I'll use yellow one more time to go back over that. And you can play around, like I said, and see what kind of marks work best for you and the crayons you're using to mix these colors. Here we go. Oh, we're almost done. We're moving our pie slice again, and we're going to do this purple. Like I said, purple's a little bit tricky when you're mixing it on your own. A lot of times I just cheat and buy a purple paint because it's just so notoriously hard to mix. So I'm going over this purple slice with that blue, and I'm doing the light. Bep. And I'm going to go again a little bit light with the red. So, think of a different mark. You could scribble in circles. That works well. And maybe I'll do it one more time in a little bit of blue. See if we can get a better looking purple. Just very light on top. Voila! Look at that, our very own color wheel. So now you can use this as a reference when you're doing your colors at home and making your paintings and your drawings. You could think about, if you're using your primary colors, how you can mix your secondary colors. Isn't that cool? Well, I would love to see your rainbows and your color wheels. So please send me an email or some snail mail or tag me on Instagram so I can see your totally awesome artwork. I would love to see what you guys made today. I hope you enjoyed today's class. I thought it was really cool, and we learned about our primary colors, which is so important for us artists, especially if you want to use colors in your artwork. If you liked today's class, please like and subscribe. It really helps me continue making these art classes for you guys online. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week, okay? Bye!